What's up, Greece? Max Cavalera here, return to roots, and you're watching Metal Path. Stay metal, Efkaristos.
Everybody jump, let's go! Jump, 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 jump!
We are in Athens, have the honor to host Max today. How are you?
Great, good to be here.
So you are currently on a tour for the Roots album. How do you feel playing the whole record again after so many years, and how were the reactions of the fans so far?
Yeah, it's kind of a challenge to play the whole record, but at the same time, a privilege too. You know, it's a very famous record. It's a very, special record in our career. It was done 20 years ago, and the challenge was to make sure that everything sound right, and we play many songs we never played before, ever. Like Look Away, Sorry, and Born Stubborn. So it's a fantastic show, and I think the reaction so far for the fans, most of the shows have been sold out, and so everybody's really loving it. Because we play the whole record, and then we come back and we play some other stuff like Motorhead, Celtic Frost, and some cover stuff that people are not expecting. So I think most of the fans really just love the fact that we are playing the whole Roots album, and it sounds fantastic. We have a really great band, Mark Rizzo, Johnny Chow, Igor's playing great, and I'm just having fun. It's fun to go there and play those songs, that we haven't done in 20 years. So it's a lot of fun. It's a blast.
Let's go back in time when the album was released. What are your memories from this time of period? Any special story from the recording or the writing process of the record?
Oh yeah, Roots was great. Almost like a concept album, because we had this idea of, it was actually my idea to incorporate the Brazilian elements into metal, and it's never really quite done before like that. So it was a very special way of recording. And then I had the idea to go to the tribe, and we spent 3 days with the Chavantes tribe in the middle of the recording. We took a break from the recording. We flew to Brazil and went to the Chavantes tribe and recorded with them. And that's I think that's like world music meets metal, first time ever in that kind of way. And so I think it was very special. And I think opened the doors for many other bands to do it, but also for me with Soulfly, my experiments continue with Soulfly on that area. So Roots is a very special record.
Did you expect that one day it would turn into a classic record that would inspire many bands around the globe?
Not at the time when we were making. In fact, when we were making, we just want to make a good record, and it was always our attitude going to the studio. We never went to the studio thinking, "Oh, we're gonna make a classic." We never thought of that. It was just like trying to make the best record you can make at the time, and it was for my surprise that the record became real big, and sold really good. A lot of people bought it. It's a gold album in many countries, including America. And influenced a lot of people, which I think is really great. And I think the thing I'm most proud of the Roots is like the risk, because it was an album of risk. It was not a safe record, and it was created in the middle of grunge was getting really big. So it was created when grunge was exploding, and everybody was turning to Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and metal was not popular at that time. It was a very strange time for metal. So I think it was created in a strange time, but I'm most proud of what Roots represents is that underneath the tribal element is a very heavy record, with stuff like Spit, Cutthroat, Stray Hate, very powerful record, you know.
You talked about the risk of the album, and that was my next question. This album polarized both the fans and the media of heavy metal this time, because you know, in comparison with the older releases of Sepultura, it was kind of a different album.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that in the past, and how risky was to take that decision and do such an experiment for the record?
What we did, like we always dealt with everything. I think we were a band that just really never wanted to make the same record over and over. We always thought it would be worth it to sacrifice and go into some kind of experiment and show the people where you're taking the music rather than follow the music, you know. So I think you can see the difference between Arise and KOZD, and KOZD into Roots. It would have been easy just to keep making records like Arise. I think the fans would have cared. They wouldn't mind. You know, I think they would have liked that. And for us, also maybe we wouldn't mind. But I think there's something about us as musicians that wants to search for new stuff, for new things, and that kind of hungry for new elements. And I think we were more satisfied as musicians with stuff like Roots, because I think what we can say about Roots is we have our past and we have the trash stuff on Arise and Beneath the Remains, but we also show them a new way of making metal on Roots, which is like also another way of making metal that's for me also very important. So I think that's when I talk about making an album of risk, that's I think what Root represents is taking a risk and not be afraid to go where other people have not gone yet, you know. So I think that's really cool. I think it takes a little bit of courage for a band to do that, especially knowing the fans some of them not gonna understand what you're doing. But I think in the end of the day, it was the right record to make, and I think time proved that. It's a classic record now, you know.
I personally am really excited to see you tonight, because I'm a big fan of Sepultura's early years and haven't had the chance to see you before. But however, there is also the other side who believes that we should be more focused on the new blood, the new bands, and all these kind of reunions are happening just for money, maybe. Many people believe that even for Black Sabbath, for example, that doing this reunion and all of this stuff. What's your point of view on that?
Well, I think like what Igor told me was very interesting, because he went to see Flag in London and they were playing Black Flag songs, and for him was experience of a lifetime, because he never had the chance to see Black Flag when we lived in Brazil. And so he got the chance to see Flag, and it was for him it was an amazing experience. So we are hoping that the Roots tour is a bit like that. So mostly for the people that never had the chance to see Sepultura live or the Roots album live. So it's for that, you know. So I think people can criticize all they want. Yeah, I say it's about money, but I don't think, for me, in my eyes, this tour especially, it's made from the heart as a fan, for the fans, you know. So I think it's really about the music and about celebrating a very special record that was done 20 years ago. So I think that's more important.
So would you do the same for another Sepultura classic record, maybe?
I think at the right time, you know. We're gonna wait a little bit, you know. Like we just did Roots now, and we're still enjoying it, and we haven't thought about it, but there's a possibility of making other records. But we're gonna wait, and whenever the right time comes, you know, eventually, I think,
Which record would you choose? Would you pick to do the next, maybe?
If I was, if it was my choice, I'd like to do Arise. I think it's a very special record. Kind of perfect combination of where we were at that time between death metal and thrash. And I think the record came out really good with stuff like Dan Embryonic Cells, Desperate Cry, you know. Yeah, I think that's and it's short. Just it's like 10 songs, you know, maybe like 35 minutes. Could be a very explosive set.
Yes, of course. Going back to my previous question, the most of the classic bands of the 70s or 80s, see for example Motorhead and the ending of Black Sabbath that is coming. Do you believe that we could have the next Motorhead, the next Black Sabbath? I mean, there are many successful bands, newborn bands, that selling good and sounds good, but could we maybe, it's not enough to turn them into a classic band. Could we have another Black Sabbath or another Motorhead after the end of this age?
Yes, but at the same time, I kind of the opinion of that maybe we don't really need it, you know, like Motorhead and Black Sabbath already existed, you know. So I think, you know, I like a lot of the new bands, you know, myself, you know, I like a lot of especially underground stuff that's been done, you know. Big fan of stuff like Abbat and Full of Hell and Noisem and you know, Nails and stuff like that. And I know that here in Greece there's a lot of like Rotting Christ and Septic Flesh. I like them a lot, you know. And yeah, I mean, this stuff is like some people when we would with Sepultura. Some people think that if you continue, we wouldn't get as big as Metallica, you know. Some people have said that, you know. But I'm not sure that was the original idea of us, of Sepultura, was not to get that big, actually, so it doesn't really matter, you know. So I think those things are kind of like, for me, if I was a new band, I wouldn't worry about that, you know. Let the time does it work, you know. Time will tell if a band gets to be the next Black Sabbath or not, you know.
Let's say that unexpectedly one day you receive a phone call from Andreas and he asks you to forget everything, let's move forward and leave everything behind and do a reunion of Sepultura. What would you say?
Yeah, if it was done the right way, it'd be great, but like right now I don't even think we need it, because I think this tour kind of proved to the fans that they don't even care if it's all the original. I think they like me and Igor. Most of the fans just want to see me and Igor. So I almost think that is the reunion as far as I'm concerned, and as far as a lot of fans are concerned. But you know, if eventually that day comes, that he said that, I don't think that's going to happen, because I know him.
Okay.
But if it does, yeah, of course, you know, we will do a proper reunion tour, you know.
That's good to know. So, do you have any other plans for the other bands? What's going on with Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy, Killer Be Killed? Any news update from them?
Yeah, Soulfly, we have a new album next year. You know, it's 20 years of Soulfly. It's a special occasion, special date. So I'm gonna work with my son Zion, and I might even come to Greece to do some writing. You know.
Oh really?
Yeah. We have a friend that offers a house here, and we can spend some time here writing to get some inspiration. So
it's really interesting
that
you choose to Greece to record and write the album. Maybe.
Yeah. So you know, it's a good friend and offers this great opportunity, and I think I'm gonna take that opportunity and turn it into something real.
That's great.
And so hopefully do a little bit of writing of the new Soulfly here, and Killer BQ. It's different. It'll be complicated. All the members are always doing stuff with other bands, but eventually we're gonna make a second record. You know, and I think it'll be better than the first one.
That's good to know.
And Cavalera is for not next year, the year after that.
Okay, great. So, Max, thank you for the interview. You may close this interview the way you want. Any message for the fans? Or
yeah, I want to thank all the fans. Thank you so much. It's been a great tour. I want to thank everybody that came to the shows and had fun with us. It was an amazing experience sharing the Roots album with the fans. And yeah, Efkaristos.
Great, thank you very much.